Hello, everyone. How is it going on this fine Sunday, whatever the date is, December 1st? Hello, December 1st. Welcome to Reel Me In, a movie podcast where you didn't really ask for it, but hey, I'm going to give it to you anyways. It's kind of like with herpes, and you have unprotected sex and you get it, and you pretty much have to live with it, and it's pretty much there constantly in your face. So I just compared my show to herpes. Moving on. So this is a movie podcast where I talk about anything, everything, and anything about movies. And this week's episode/topic is Disney animated movies. I strictly left it to animated movies because I saw Frozen this past weekend, and it blew me away in terms of the nostalgia factor and how it felt like an old school Disney movie with the musicals or the music numbers and the humor and the dramatic points and the way it was animated and like how beautifully animated it was. Like it brought me back to when Disney actually made good movies. That's right. They made good movies at one point. So I'm going to go ahead and just talk about like my favorite old school 2D hand-drawn animated movies. And I was born in 1990, and so I was like pretty much in the resurgence for Disney hand-drawn movies. Because in Snow White, Bambi, Alice in Wonderland, those came out like way before I was born. And I love those. But I grew up in the midst of like Lion King and Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin. It was just a great time as a kid. I remember specifically when I was 3 years old watching Lion King, and I really just enjoyed it. And coming from a guy's point of view, it's kind of one-sided. What Disney really catered to was little girls, with the whole princess aspect and everything. So what I want to do is I have a lovely guest with me, and her name is Taylor, and she is going to tell you her top 3 Disney animated movies, hand-drawn, and then I'm going to tell you my top 3, because they're going to be vastly different, and I would like to get a female's opinion on it, because I haven't had a female yet on the show, because I record this in a sweaty dungeon that no one really knows about. Okay, so Taylor, go ahead and tell the audience your top 3 Disney animated movies from the 90s, starting with number 3, and why.
Yeah, it's a nice sweaty dungeon you got here.
Thank you.
I like what you've done with the place. Okay, so what's up, guys? My top 3 Disney movies probably relate a lot to the love stories and the princesses, of course. Mostly because, I'm a female, and that's what we like. So, number 3 is going to be Aladdin. Basically, you've got, Princess Jasmine and Aladdin, the love story between them. Number 2 would be a Goofy movie. Now, I know there's no princesses in it, but come on, who didn't like a Goofy movie as a kid? Like, that movie was hilarious. It was just so funny. And you've got the love story between Max and Roxanne, and of course the music in that movie was all really good too. Number 1 was definitely Pocahontas. I don't know if that's strange. I know that a lot of people probably would pick Beauty and the Beast as girls or Cinderella or something, but Pocahontas was just so good to me. I think it had to do with the fact that I was like a hippie child and I love the outdoors and the the nature, and of course, she had the love story between John Smith and Pocahontas as well. And then she had her animals like Miko and Flit, the little raccoon and hummingbird. So I remember as a kid loving Pocahontas. I had a Pocahontas Barbie doll, and I even dressed up as her for Halloween one year. So definitely loved Disney movies as a kid. Who didn't? So it's interesting. I'll be interested to see how, as a girl, it's different from what Chase has to think. So yeah.
All right, well, thank you, Taylor. And I apologize for that music playing in the background. My iTunes opened, and it decided to play a random song. Thank you, iTunes. Go suck a dick. So, my favorite Disney movies, it's quite interesting, because at number 3, I have Alice in Wonderland. Now, I wasn't a huge fan of Tim Burton's reimagining or remake with Johnny Depp as a cracked-out, coked-out Mad Hatter. I enjoyed the cracked-out, coked-out Mad Hatter from the cartoon. Alice in Wonderland, it's such a trippy mind adventure that it takes you somewhere where Disney movies have not taken you before, and it feels like an adventure. That's the best way to put it. It feels like an adventure that Disney took you on, and like you went down this rabbit hole where you just got sucked into this world of LSD and crazy talking rabbits. So I mean, like in terms of like adventure wise, like that one is my favorite, and I have to put that at number 3. For number 2, I would have to put Pinocchio. There was just something about it's going to get a little weird. It's going to get a little creepy. But there was something about old men and young boys that really just fascinated me. No, I'm just kidding with you guys. Pinocchio is just one of those stories. It's kind of like, realizing, what you can become and realizing who you are and stuff. And, Pinocchio, he wanted to be a real boy so bad. And it happened at the end because he truly believed in it. And, as a kid, like, you really buy into that. And, like, as an adult, you can kind of buy into it, too. And Pinocchio is just one of those movies that I really just resonated with me because I was a wooden puppet and I wanted to be a real boy. And I didn't become a real boy until I was probably in high school. So my number 1 pick is actually The Lion King. Yeah, pretty cliche, I know. But to me, it had everything. It had humor. It had music that was catchy as hell. It also had dramatic points, and I think you know what I'm talking about. And spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, God forbid, Mufasa dies by his brother Scar. What a dick move, right? When that part happens and like Simba is just like on the cliff like yelling and stuff, it tugs at your heartstrings. I mean, come on. Like you have to be pretty cold as ice if you didn't really think that was doing it for you. So I have to say, like, to early Disney movies, there was something about it that captured that magic. Now, when Disney made Princess and the Frog, which I believe was their last hand-drawn animation movie, correct me if I'm wrong down below, but I saw it and I really enjoyed it. And I still have a love for hand-drawn animation, but I'm so exposed to just computer-generated images. Like I can appreciate both, but the way the market is going, Disney is going into computer animated movies where you can do everything with the click of a button. I live with an animation person, and everything is all right there. All the tools he needs, everything. And what I can tell you is, like, when Disney like started doing computer generated, animation, like I gotta admit, they were pretty bad. I mean, the one I can remember they started with was Chicken Little. Yeah. Anyone remember that? Nope. Moving on. And pretty much after that, like they needed something to come up with to kind of recapture that. And that's where Tangled comes in. Tangled came out in 2011, and that was like the first Disney movie in a long time where it was CG and it was animated. Because before that, I think there was Bolt, and let's be honest, no one saw that unless you like dogs and weird animals that the dog talks to. So Tangled was like the first like huge success that Disney has had with non-Pixar movies. Yeah, I just blew your mind. Pixar is not Disney. Pixar is a separate company. Disney just owns them and distributes. Pixar makes their own stuff. So Tangled was like the first Disney animated movie that pretty much like, gave life into the genre once again. And Tangled wasn't bad. I'll give it, it was good, but it wasn't like, whoa, man, that just blew me away, man. The one that came out with last year pretty much told me that Disney still has it, and that is Wreck-It Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph was the best animated movie last year, and it didn't win. They gave it to Brave because it's Pixar. Screw that. Wreck-It Ralph was one of those animations that it captured the kid in me with the whole video game aspect. The humor was spot on. I even said that was besides Toy Story, that is one of the best animated like voice castings I've ever seen. John C. Reilly as Wreck-It Ralph, and Jack McBrayer as Fix-It Felix Jr. Jane Lynch is in it, and Sarah Silverman, she plays the little girl. Wreck-It Ralph was so special that pretty much said to me, Disney, you know what you're doing. Congratulations, you're doing your job after a long time. And then they came out with Frozen this year. And Frozen was very, very good. In my review, I basically flat out said, this reminds me of classic Disney animated movies. Yeah, it's not hand-drawn, but it captures the magic in the sense of like the music, the drama, the humor, the animation, how beautiful it looks. It was just like a Beauty and the Beast or like a Lion King. Now, don't get me wrong. They're not like that. Like, they're not like on the same level, but it captured that magic for me. And I think the way Disney is going right now with their, animation, like strictly just them, not Pixar. I cannot stress that enough. A lot of people think Disney is Pixar. No. Pixar is a separate company, but Disney owns them. But Pixar still makes them. So, because anytime I see it like a Toy Story or like a Ratatouille or The Incredibles, that's Pixar, not Disney. So, with the way Disney is going, like strictly Disney, the future looks good. That's the best way to wrap this up. Like, Disney future looks so good right now with Wreck-It Ralph and Frozen. I think they could actually compete with Pixar, which is weird. It's like two competing brothers in the same house. Why would you do that? Well, they want more money. Because Disney pretty much owns everything right now with Pixar, Marvel, and now Lucasfilm. So they got all the rights to the Marvel movies. They have all the rights to Star Wars. They have all the rights to Pixar. Disney is going to eventually come in your house, take your firstborn child, and completely just shut your family down because they're that greedy. But hey, that's a different subject for a different day. This is about the movies. And like I said, at the rate it's going, Disney looks great. Now, the question I have for you guys is, whoever was born in the 90s, please comment below and let me know what your favorite hand-drawn Disney animated movies were. Because I know there's a lot of you out there, and I will fully admit, when I was 4 years old, I watched Beauty and the Beast, I watched The Little Mermaid, and I loved it. And I was a little kid, a little boy kid. So yeah, let me know what your favorite Disney movies are down below, because I'm very curious to see like which ones rank on top of the other, because let's face it, Disney rocks, and there's a lot of good ones. And it's very nice to see like different opinions, like, oh no, this one's better because of this, or like whatever. So please just let me know. And that's it for the Disney section. Now, I had another section planned, but something very tragic happened yesterday, and that was Paul Walker's passing, and the driver that was with him. Both of them, I want them to rest in peace, and I gotta let you guys know, Paul Walker is one of those actors that pretty much was a big part of my childhood, because I watched a lot of his like old stuff when I was a kid, when I wasn't supposed to, like Joyride. I love Joyride. J.J. Abrams actually was a part of that too. And then Fast and Furious and all those movies that he did. But the one movie I'm going to remember Paul for is Running Scared. Now, I'm going to give a brief review on this and totally recommend this one to you guys, because Running Scared is just one of those movies. It's one of those hidden movies where when you find it, it's amazing. And you wonder why the Academy didn't recognize anyone. I looked it up, and Running Scared just wasn't touched by anyone. And it was one of those movies where you look at it and go, holy crap. Paul Walker pretty much gave the best performance of his life. And it was just one of those performances where you go, he could have made a lot more like that. It's like with Heath Ledger. It's after like The Dark Knight and like Brokeback Mountain, and it's like he could have done something better than that. And Paul Walker was the same way. Yes, was Paul the best actor in the world? No, but he was very enjoyable. And I think that's what actors are supposed to do. I think actors are supposed to be there to entertain, and that's it. Even if it's a strong, dramatic performance, we're still being entertained. That's what they do. They're entertainers. And Paul was one of the best at it. He brought a charisma to every single movie. I'm not even kidding. Like, you pop in a Paul Walker movie, it's like, yeah, he's got that like personality that is very present on screen, and you really appreciate him from doing that. But if you guys have not checked out Running Scared, I highly recommend it. Of course, if you are very if you don't like language or violence that much, then you will hate the movie because it's got over 300 F words and the violence is just about as bloody as a Tarantino movie. So caution, be warned. So yeah, I just want to real quick just say rest in peace, Paul, and the driver of that car. And all my prayers go out to their families. And Paul, you will be missed. So jumping into the next section, I have the box office results for the week. And I'm not going to lie, when I saw Frozen, I was like, that thing is going to win first of the week. Because usually, like when animation or animated movies come out, they do well every single time. Like 90% of the time, an animated movie will be number one at the box office, hands down. And so I was a little shocked that Frozen did not get number one. I think you guys all know what got number one. Hunger Games Catching Fire. Come on. So the Hunger Games Catching Fire came at number one with 74 million. That thing is almost at 300 million domestically, not worldwide. Worldwide, it's like almost at 700. What's really cool is like the first one, I think it made domestically 400 million, and then like worldwide was like 800 million. It's insane. And I really give Hunger Games Catching Fire like huge props because great movie, go see it, deserves all that money. Frozen came in at number two with 66 million. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Even when I went at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Friday, it was super packed. So, I mean, I know it's popular. It'll probably get a resurgence next week. There you go. My voice is cracked, so my balls just dropped. The third one for the week is Thor 2 at 11 million. That thing keeps on trucking. And that just shows you why Disney is just, they know what they're doing with their properties. So does Marvel. Best Man Holiday came in at fourth with 8 million. That's cool. Fifth place was Homefront with 6 million, and that is the Sylvester Stallone written movie with starring Jason Statham and supposed badass James Franco. Right. Little known fact about that one: Homefront was actually supposed to be Rambo 5. Yep. And wait, did I get them? Yeah, I got them right. I don't know why I just thought my numbers were off. I didn't really do so well in school. All right, so yeah, Homefront was supposed to be Rambo 5, but I think something like fell through with everything, and so Sylvester Stallone just wrote it, and they got Statham and James Franco. What I don't understand is why in the hell aren't those roles switched? What? You're telling me Jason Statham is the hero and James Franco is the badass. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Franco and I love Statham. But dear God, James Franco looks like he hasn't eaten in like 2 weeks. And Jason Statham looks like he eats like half of a cow every single day. So, I mean, like, how in the hell do they put James Franco as the villain and Jason Statham as the good guy? Jason Statham, if he like stares you like in the face with his eyes, I'm pretty sure half of your face will melt and you'll probably get a stroke. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Why don't you just reverse those roles? But then again, James Franco, I can't really see him as a father. Yeah, I just can't. If you guys see Homefront, let me know how it is because I didn't really trust it. And, what's that? Looking at my page? Oh, yeah, that's right. Oldboy didn't even crack the top 5. Now, I didn't see Oldboy, but I've seen the original, and I love the original. I'm very hesitant to go see the new one just because it's Spike Lee, and he seems kind of like a douche on Twitter. And starring Josh Brolin. I like Josh Brolin. Like, he's cool. He's a cool cat. Yeah, Oldboy didn't even crack top 5. There you go. A little cool side story that happened this week with Oldboy. One of the graphic designers that an ad agency hired to do the poster for Oldboy, he pretty much got screwed over, and the ad agency pretty much used his poster designs for Oldboy that Spike Lee loved, and they posted it on their Facebook and their website, and they were trying to sue him, the graphic artist, for putting it on his website and stuff, and they were just like, you need to take it down. And he's just like, well, go fuck yourself. And so he wrote a letter to Spike Lee explaining everything, and how like they're trying to sue him, and like he's trying to, his wife is having a baby and stuff, and like he doesn't want to be the baby brought into a world like this. Okay, first off, the letter's fine. Second of all, please, for the love of God, don't mention your wife and your kid. Who gives a crap? Did they do the poster? No, they didn't do the poster. Who cares what your wife and your expected baby are gonna do? They didn't do anything. This is your mess. And yeah, granted, you're probably in the right and they're probably in the wrong. Come on, really? You're gonna use the sympathy card? It's kind of like this. If I have a huge project coming up, and the people that hire me to do it, and they ask me how long it's going to take, I'm going to be like, well, it all depends on the birth of my roommate's kittens. You know, it just kind of I really don't want them to be stressed about my project. You know how ridiculous that sounds? Do you know Luis Garcia? Juan Luis? Yeah, the graphic designer's name is Juan Luis Garcia. It's like the most common Mexican name you'll ever find. My roommate's Mexican, and I asked him, and I was like, is this pretty typical? And he was like, yeah. But anyway, that is your box office results for the week. DVD releases this week is Red Who Gives a Crap 2, Jobs, starring Ashton Kutcher. Let me go on a little side rant here. Listen, I saw it with a coworker, and he's a huge like technology buff, so he wanted to see, you know, a movie about Bill Gates. We both liked the movie, but apparently that thing has been tracked so bad. Someone's got to tell me. Someone's got to look me straight in the face and be like, listen, Jobs was terrible because I don't know why people think Jobs was terrible. It wasn't the best movie of the year, but I liked it. It was good. I thought Ashton Kutcher did a great job as Steve Jobs, and I've never ragged on the guy. Yeah, he plays basically the same character, but when he does something different, like Jobs or like the Butterfly Effect, you're just like, okay, so he can choose good roles and not have his agent completely down a bottle of vodka and choose his roles for him. I honestly don't know why people don't like Jobs that much. Getaway also came out. Yeah, you remember that? That thing was in theaters for like a week. It's got Selena Gomez and Ethan Hawke. That's just a terrible combo. It's like putting a piece of gold next to a turd. There you go. That was the best analogy you're getting tonight. And the last thing to come out on DVD, it's not movies, but it's one of my favorite TV shows of all time. The last season of Breaking Bad. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. There's your Breaking Bad intro theme from my mouth. The final season came out. Fantastic show. Check that out. For the love of God, what are you doing? And, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. We talked about Disney animated movies, old school, new school, where Disney's going. Rest in peace, Paul Walker. I enjoy your movies. Check out Running Scared. Hunger Games Catching Fire dominates box office once again. DVD releases are there, and I mean, the only good one's Breaking Bad. So I just want to say thank you for listening, guys, and if you like this podcast, follow me on Spreaker. If you also like it, give me a thumbs up, and comment below of your favorite Disney movies, and yeah, I'm pretty excited to know what you guys' favorite movies are. And if you want to follow me on Facebook, it's facebook.com/realreviews with Chase Lee. And Twitter is @realchaselee. YouTube is youtube.com/Shabudnik75, capital S. And next week, same time, same place. You guys okay with that? Yeah? Okay, good. So I am Chase Lee, and this has been Reel Me In, a movie podcast, episode 3. And I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.